Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. And today we have heavyweights. I always see this as a much older film, but it's 1995, and it has a lot of pedigree when it comes to comedy in this thing. Not only is the focus, the main bad guy in this is motivational speaker Tony Perkis. Tony Perkis, yeah, played by Ben Stiller, at his most. He's, you know how great he is at playing completely oblivious, ultra ego driven maniacs in so many things. Maniacs is maybe a harsh word. In this case, it's not, but like Zoolander and things like that, where he's just so full of himself. Some people might say he is, but I don't know him, so I can't say that. Um, but this character is so absolutely full of himself to the expense of everybody else around him. In this case, particularly kids at a fat camp. Yeah. So what we have here is we have a little Jerry, um, who is picked on at school. He's not exactly popular. He's a heavy kid. And if you've ever grown up fat and a little overweight, you kind of know what that's like. You don't get all the girls necessarily, and you're not good at sports. And so that makes you for some reason an easy target. Like, and even in comedy today, it's still, hey, we can't make fun of anything else, but somehow still being fat is a great target is still an open target. It's not in many ways. It's an easy low blow type of comedy, and that's one of the main fears when going into this. And this is actually a fully Disney production. It's the great thing about this is I mean I feared that this was just going to be fat joke, fat joke, fat joke, fat joke. It's really about it's so big hearted and so sweet, and it shows the camaraderie of the kids who've been sent to fat camp, and the joy and the fun that they can have together, and hopefully improving their lives, hopefully improving their health, um, with the help of counselors who actually care about them. And that's an important thing. Well, Jerry begrudgingly, uh, well, first of all, Tim Blake Nelson shows up at his house and saying, "Hey, your parents told you that you need to go to camp," and he quickly figures out from watching the video that it's a fat camp, and he does not want to go. Guess what? Seconds later, film wise, he's on a plane to the fat camp. His first friend he makes is Keenan Thompson from Saturday Night Live, who's been on the show, seems like almost as long since this movie was made. By the way, this is from 1995. It's an hour and 37 minutes long. Um, it's weird to see Keenan as a chubby faced little guy without his voice having changed yet. It's just strange. Um, but yeah, I mean, so you see Keenan every week on Saturday Night Live. It's kind of just it's weird to see him as a kid. I mean, some of you guys have seen him in other stuff since then, but yeah, it was I've only really mostly seen him in Saturday Night Live. But they become quick friends, and you realize along with Jerry that maybe this isn't going to be so bad. Maybe this is going to be an enjoyable summer because they got go karts. They got a thing in the water called what is it called? I'm sure it's gonna come up here in the thing, but it's like a big air balloon mattress kind of thing that people jump on and they launch other people into the sky. It looks like fun. Who doesn't want to be weightless, especially when you're a heavyweight? Um, and it looks like a great time until they get to their first meeting and they greet the very kindly owners of the camp, played by Ben Stiller's parents, Jerry Stiller and Ann Mara, which is just to me is just a fun, just just a fun little. Whenever they get together in the same movie, it doesn't mean anything really to anybody, but it's sweet. I like it. because I love Jerry and Ann. So yeah, I mean they're classic comedy actors. So Jerry gets to be almost like his character on Seinfeld as well. He gets to do a little bit of a shout. Well, unfortunately, they had the news. They break the news that they've lost the camp because of some bad financial choices. That leaves Tony, Ben Stiller, their real life son, to take over the camp in a brutal fascist um, in a way. But he's not even doing it because he wants to help kids. He wants to do it so he can make an infomercial, so he can sell this product to others, and usually fudge some details here and there, make it look like it's much better than it really is. Meanwhile, the kids are miserable. Um, they they got what's it? Tom Hodges plays a guy who plays Lars. Yeah, he plays Lars, very strict, very German, I guess, or Austrian taskmaster for these kids. And he's hilarious, but he's brutal. Um, there's Julie, the nurse who just started, and then there's what's his name? Uh, Come on, Paul Feig, who you might know. He's a director. He did the Ghostbusters film, with all the women, and he's done so many other things. But um, we get we get some really great counselors who you're like, oh, these are amazing people. These are super people, but they're relegated to being off, out of control of anything that's going on. They're just kept on because they know how things work. And while Tony is torturing the kids, they're doing their best to keep the kids from just totally breaking down. And it's it's surprisingly it's not, it doesn't fall into a bunch of weird cliches. Ben Stiller's manic personality makes even his cruelty hilarious, which I know that's not a thing that shouldn't exist, but he's just a maniac, and he is jacked for this thing. He's he's got the guns. He's really working it, and he looks like he's putting himself all in on this thing whenever he's doing something physical, and everything he does looks, totally, I don't know, powerful, but it's also just goofy at the same time. So that's one of the things that's made this movie pretty much a cult classic, because I mean, you've seen him in so many other things. It's just, but this is such a small movie compared to everything else he's been in. Even Mystery Men was bigger than this, and that was a few years after this, I believe. Um, but yeah, it's got a great cast of kids. Normally, when you have kids in a movie, I've said this many times before, the kids are just usually garbage. The kids are not good actors usually. Usually, every single one of them is great. They just knock it out of the park. It's they're realistic. You feel sympathy for them. You feel sympathy for the leaders that care for them, um, and you want them to succeed. Yes, it's, there's been camp movies before, like Meatballs and things like that, and overcoming, adversity. It's the authoritarians versus the pack of kids who have to come together to defeat their oppressors, kind of thing. That's been done tons of times before, but it's kind of neat to see this in a situation, and I think it gives also a nice message to kids who are struggling with obesity, that it's not something that should hold you back or think that you're lesser than some people. It shouldn't need to be something that needs to be said. Yeah, that's a lot of needs. It shouldn't be something that needs to be said, but unfortunately it is, because a lot of kids deal with weight problems through, through some of the youngest ages. Um, it's it's heartbreaking. But this, I think, can give some kids a little bit of hope. It's a 25-year-old movie, but it's still a lot of fun because you know that Tony Ben Stiller is going to get his in the end. So, fun thing, he plays his dad also at in the film, so it's also kind of funny that way. Oh, the blob! The blob is the thing that they used to jump off of and launch each other off of. That's kind of cool. And they had go karts. And by the way, the only problem I think I have with this is that it might have gone a little bit too long. I don't recall. There's like a rival camp that they have to go up against, to play baseball. They, Tony does certain things where he would invite a rival camp of just totally fit kids over to just beat the crap out of these fat kids in baseball, or he would invite a girls camp nearby over for a dance and just watch them be humiliated as they just sort of not dance. And when things change a little bit in the fat kids' favor, the heavyweights' favor, Tony shuts it down. It's cruel, and so much as you want to laugh at him, he's a jerk. And you want to see him get his comeuppance. So if you're in one of those moods, this is a great movie to see justice, the scales of justice be balanced. So I highly recommend this movie. I actually thought I had seen the whole thing. I watched this a few years ago. Comedy Central was running it on Thanksgiving, I think as a joke, because heavyweights eating a lot of food on Thanksgiving, stuff like that. I think I was drinking a lot that day as well, so I don't remember much of the film. And I don't recall enough of it long enough ago to say that I had confidently seen it before. So this is my actual first full run through. I'm going to have to say that because I can't confirm that I seen it before. So this was a great revelation to me. So I think if there's a movie that deserves cult status that may not have watched on Disney Plus and isn't doesn't necessarily fit the normal Disney you know I don't know, it doesn't feel like a Disney film for the most part. I thought it was brought over by 20th Century Fox, but it's not. So hey, I say give it a shot. It's for a great cast, and just whether you like Ben Stiller or not, you can't deny this man is an absolute maniac in his roles like this. So give it a shot. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
394.
394. 394. Oh, man, we're getting in another movie. Man, we are on a roll with just movies. We have so many different types of things to watch on Disney Plus, but the randomizer is what we follow. So, I think this is the sequel, the live-action sequel to Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. It's Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. Or it's an animated thing. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, it may be the animated thing. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Either way, Once Upon a Time in Wonderland on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. See you back here tomorrow. My things. Sorry, it was mislabeled. This is not a movie. We're going to change things up. It's a TV series that I think only had one season. This is a series Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, just like Once Upon a Time was a series. This is a spin-off featuring Alice. So that's what we're going to be watching. So don't confuse it with anything else. It's a series. See you back here tomorrow on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge.